So let's start first with what is domestic violence. Domestic violence is a pattern of behaviors that one partner will use against the other to gain control over the relationship, over the family. One partner uses it to gain control. Right? Even as I talk about it, I'm using words very specifically that lead you to believe one person's kind of in charge and is going to work to get their way. When I have individuals who are working to maneuver and gain the one-up on their partner, they'll do things like be emotionally abusive. Emotional abuse can be name-calling. It can be threatening the person. It can be taking such a position as to be intimidating. As I talk to you, I'm standing over here, but if you and I were in an argument and I put my eyebrows down and I put on my stance and then I begin to cross space and stick my finger out and you see my movements, just as I talk about it, my movements start to get hard and my expressions come down. This is an intimidating maneuver. And when you do this with somebody, are they going to stay seated as you move into their space? Probably not. I don't. I want to get up to their level so that I'm on an even playing field. Now, in a domestic violence relationship, whoever that maneuver is being done to may sit perfectly still where they are because it's safer than getting up. We can isolate. We can isolate in lots of ways when we want to gain control. I can remove things from you that allow you to live the way you would like to live. We have one vehicle, let's say, and I take it with me. So you know what you get to do during the day? You can walk as far as your feet can take you. Okay? And I give you an allowance maybe. And so you have $20 that lasts a week. And you have to get groceries with that. You have to get diapers for the children. You have to get milk today. And so you've got about $4 left. And a bus ticket in Tampa? For $3.50 you can ride all day, but I don't have enough for $3.50. So now I can only go as far as my feet can carry me because I don't have enough to even get on the bus. I can control the money. I've had people take the phones out of the house. I take them, put them in the trunk, take the phones with you. Now you can't call outside. You can talk to the neighbor. Again, you can talk to somebody as far as your feet can carry you, but you're not going very far. I have people that check the cell phones. I consider that an isolation and a control issue because I'm monitoring what you're doing with the intent to tell you who you can and cannot talk to. And when it shows up on your caller ID, you're in trouble with me. You're in trouble with me. I can blame. We've talked about aggressive and hostile actions, and blaming is something that I consider aggressive because I get out my you, and whatever's going on is all about you did it, you always, you never. If you hadn't, then I wouldn't have. All of that's emotional abuse. Physical abuse, most of us get. Okay, some of us want to assign what I consider pretty significant physical contact as abuse, and I'm going to tell you what I define abuse as, that's physical. Most of us understand the touching thing. When you slap, hit, punch, put something in your hand and contact another person with it, whether it's, a paint stick or a baseball bat or, something that you say, well, this doesn't really hurt, doesn't matter. I put it in my hand, it's not meant to use to strike another person, and I'm doing that. Some of the stuff, though, that we discount. You and I are having a discussion and you turn and you want to walk away from me and I reach out and I take you by the arm. I don't leave any marks. I take you by the arm. Do you want me to touch you? No. And I'm touching you. You don't want me to touch you and I'm touching you. That meets the qualification as physical abuse. Unwanted touch is physical abuse. Blocking a doorway. In most of our homes, unless you're maybe in the kitchen or one of the common big areas, there's only one way in and out of a bedroom for most of us. I'd have to jump off the second story to get out of mine. There's one door. You and I are having a discussion. You want to leave and I'm hell bent that you're staying. And so I'm standing in the doorway. You have choices, don't you? You're going to sit there or you're going to come at me and try to get me out of the door, in which case we're going to have unwanted contact. Those are two of the ones that come to my mind that we may not always think about. Lots of people, when I talk to them, are doing some of this, I call it low level, pushing and shoving on each other. We get into an argument and, I push you back a little bit and you push me back a little bit. Doesn't hurt. We think that's okay. Who doesn't get into an argument and do that once in a while? You may think that, but I'll tell you that's not normal, and there are lots of couples that don't do that at all. Next, sexual abuse. Sexual abuse, in my mind, is pretty much what it sounds like. However, we have to caveat it. Sexual abuse is unwanted sexual comments, sexual innuendo, sexual contact. In a marriage, in a relationship where it's you and me and we're committed to each other, you can be raped. No is no. I don't need to have a headache. I can say, I don't want to do this. And that should be enough if we're in a relationship that is healthy and going to work. When I say no and you continue to pressure me until I say yes. Now it's consensual by legal term, but emotionally it's not. I have succumbed because you have continued to pressure me. You know, when you actually use it as a power tactic, and I've said no, and I've continued to put this up, and it is now forced sex, that's rape. Forced anything. One of the other techniques which I talked about in emotional is economic abuse. I control the money. You come home with your paycheck, and my hand's right there. Give me a paycheck. You know you don't know how to manage the money, so don't, just hand it over to me and I'll take care of it. I'll make sure the bills get paid and you'll have your share, but you just fritter away and God only knows what you're going to do with this. So no, I'm going to take care of that. Letting you have an allowance. Come home with your paycheck and I'm going to give you part of it back. But then you have to keep a log. Let me know every penny you spent now. Because if you have to have more, I gotta know why. What are you doing? You're spending all your money? What are you spending this stuff on? Money's not water. And those are the kind of comments that'll come out from a person that's attempting to control their partner with money. Finally, we have use of children. And of course, we have talked about sticking children in the middle of our divorce conflict quite a bit already. When we are looking at a family where there's struggle going on for power, I will look at you and maybe threaten to leave with the children. I will take the children and you will never find us. I will call DCF. I will call the state and I will report you as a bad parent. Those are threats, aren't they? Which is some of that emotional abuse. But it's also me attempting to keep you in my life, in your place, because I know that you're committed and bonded to our children, and I am using them as a pawn to get you to do what I want you to do. And that's what use of children is about. None of those tactics meet what we talk about when we talk about a normal family. They're not normal. They are one partner attempting to exert control over another partner to live the way they want them to live, to see who they want them to see, and to behave the way they want them to behave.